You know, I put that fight in other place right now. I think Crawford is a little better than Mayweather, but Canelo have more experience right now. No, and I think
it's really that.
Floyd Mayweather has now fired shots at Canelo Alvarez in response to his remarks that Terence Crawford is a better boxer than him. When Mayweather was told of Canelo's remarks during an interview, in which he was asked to forecast the bout between Canelo and Crawford, the boxing star said, "Did he really say that? He's a joker. I don't give that fool a rating." One of the easiest arguments I've ever had.
Question for the last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look,
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be.
The comment section. Boxing enthusiasts swiftly concurred with Mayweather. However, Mayweather felt certain that Terence Crawford would prevail when he was asked to forecast the bout. Crawford is capable of defeating Canelo, and he will. Recall that I wager on Bevel to oppose him. I'm also wagering on Crawford. Undoubtedly profitable.
You be sizing up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting.
Marked. I hope Crawford delivers the idiot one more loss, since Canelo never takes his losses with pride. Canelo believes he's clever, said another. When he beats Crawford, he is showing Floyd contempt. He had asserted that he outfought Floyd's best fighter. Canelo is going to have his head whooped again, said a third. Observe Floyd as he instructs Crawford on how to ruin this man. When Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Canelo Alvarez faced off in 2013, Alvarez witnessed personally why Mayweather is regarded as the greatest boxer of his generation and an all-time great.
Look at this fight and compare it to Mayweather's fight. You think Mayweather is like Canelo? Or Mayweather is like Crawford? Or Mayweather the same game plan?
I don't know. I don't really.
Time Alvarez was 23. Mayweather was 36. The still green Mexican upstart lost a decision to Mayweather, who was easily overwhelmed him. 12 years later, on September 13th, super middleweight King Alvarez will square off against four-division champion Terence Crawford, who has followed Mayweather's lead and established himself as a pound-for-pound consensus champion. Fantastic Alvarez told Fight Hype that he believes Crawford is marginally superior against Mayweather. However, this Canelo now has greater experience. It's a very different battle in my opinion. I don't want to make comparisons to other fights. Simply said, this battle is among the greatest in boxing history.
I think it's totally other fight. I don't want to compare this fight with other fights. I think this fight is one of the best fights in the boxing history, and that's all.
Though Crawford, who is smaller in stature, is going up to divisions. Bookmakers still view the fight between likely first ballot Hall of Famers as a tight one. Crawford is listed by DraftKings as the underdog and Alvarez as the favorite. My ability, talents, and discipline are the reason I'm here, Alvarez stated. I don't give a damn about what people think of my boxing IQ. I did everything and battled everyone, as you can see from my resume. In boxing, I achieved everything. Thus, my legacy already exists. Floyd Mayweather recently recalled his historic bout against Canelo. Alvarez at the super welterweight level in one interview.
Every fighter that's gave the sport of boxing their whole life and sacrificed a lot inside that square circle they should feel that way. So if he feel that way, you know, more power to him. I had one fight, and the fight wasn't actually at a catchweight. It was at a catchweight, but
one catchweight fight. It wasn't my idea, it's public info, available online in articles. At one point, Canelo seemed to think I was afraid of him. Said Floyd doesn't want to fight me. I'll meet him at 152 or 152.5 pounds. So I called his bluff and agreed to 152. But there wasn't a rehydration clause stopping him from gaining weight after the weigh-in. He made 152 or 152.5 at the official win. But by fight night, he was probably around 168 or close to 170 pounds. I came in at 151 or 152, so while it was a catchweight, it didn't give me any real advantage. I just proved I wasn't scared and I took the fight under the terms he suggested. That's what happened. And anyone can look it up.
The fight wasn't actually at a catchweight. It was at a catchweight, but it wasn't my idea. So at one particular time, you guys can, anybody, you can go online and pull this up. It was an article. So with Canelo said, I believe Canelo at one particular time thought I was scared of him, you know, that I was afraid.
And that he still had a lot to learn about the new weight class he would be switching to in less than a month. Terence Crawford could have thought this was sufficient for him as well. Yet Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford have been harshly compared by boxing fans. Bud would not deny the 50-0 boxing champion his due recognition. When questioned about the parallels between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford, the former had a few more things to say. He's the monarch. Crawford acknowledged Floyd's greatness and commended him.
I take more chances.
Excuse me, Crawford.
You know, right now. But earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know, it just depends on which Floyd Mayweather you talk about. You talk about money or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was the seek and destroy fighter.
You're more like Pretty Boy.
Once again, I'm retired.
Floyd, what do you think of Canelo's performance against Billy Joe Saunders?
I didn't even see it. What do you fight on that app? You said he fight on the app now, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know, real fighters fight on Showtime.
The more his legacy grows, the more yours grows. Would you agree with that?
We're a little different since I take more chances, but we have a lot in common in other ways. He was also taking a lot of chances in his profession earlier on. Depending on which Floyd Mayweather you're referring to, it will vary. Because Pretty Boy was the seeker-destroyer. You're either talking about money or about Pretty Boy. He then began to go up and fight bigger, but he was unable to maintain the same power due to hand injuries.
It's really that.
In September 2013,
Mayweather
faced Canelo in a light middleweight title. Showdown between the World Boxing Council and the World Boxing Association. The young Mexican came up against the American's most formidable opponent to date in the 45th match of his illustrious career. Even though the scorecards showed it to be much closer than most boxing fans would have thought, it ended up being a one-sided fight, with the American winning on points. It was thought to be a difficult test for Mayweather going into the
Legacy grows, the more yours grows. Would you agree with that?
Canelo?
Right.
Oh, that's the easy one.
We're going to try and get...
You know, a lot of times guys be like, well, I'm bigger. I got a longer reach. I'm a better fighter. Do that. I got a strategy.
Money dominated the fight from start to finish. Using superior skill and ring IQ to outclass Canelo over 12 rounds, earning a majority decision win. Despite Mayweather clearly controlling the bout, Judge C.J. Ross scored it 114-114, leaving many, including Mayweather, shocked. In an interview with Fight Hype, the 47-year-old didn't hold back on his opinion of Canelo's ability. Summing up the fight in just 3 words, Mayweather said, "He was nothing." He went on to elaborate, calling Canelo an idiot, and described the fight as a cakewalk. "He was easy. You all keep praising this dude. He was nothing," Mayweather said. "I was almost 40 years old and cooked this dude easily." Despite Canelo's later success, Mayweather made it clear he saw nothing special in the young Mexican during their 2013 showdown. Mayweather retired a few years after their bout, and over a decade later, Canelo remains one of boxing's biggest stars. Since his only loss to Mayweather, Canelo has won 15 straight fights, capturing world titles at middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight, becoming the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. His impressive run has solidified his legacy in the sport. Now, Canelo is reportedly set for another massive showdown. It's time against fellow pound-for-pound great Terence Crawford, with the fight expected to happen later this year. However, some believe the weight difference could be a major factor. Crawford would be moving up from 154 pounds to 168 TA. Jump of 2 full weight classes, after only 1 fight at super welterweight. That size gap has led many to question whether Crawford can truly match Canelo's strength at super middle.
Which fight was more difficult between Mayweather or Bivol, and why?
I think both are similar. Just Bivol is bigger,
Given that Canelo is inherently much larger than Crawford, many believe the Mexican might win by knockout, much like he did when he faced Amir Khan, who was also up to divisions for the bout, but considerably smaller. In light of this, Mayweather delivered his assessment of Canelo's strength after their battle, as he was questioned if it worried him before the fight. Then, in the ring, he said, "Not at all. It was nothing he had never experienced. After playing the sport for more than 20 years, I have never experienced anything like."
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?